punchline. Ooh, right now, I got you. Right now, nothing. Need a Uber right now. Right now, need crew up right now. Cause we two up right now. Ooh, I'm up right now. Ooh, I'm up right now. First I pull up, hop out, valet, walk out. All these bands I lost count, cause I'm two up right now. Two up right now. Yeah, I'm two up, brown, blue up. Copped that new rape on them haters. Threw up.
All right, thanks, Coach. EA Sports coverage of the National Football League is on the air. The scene a few moments ago, here it is. It's unlike any other in sport as both teams made their way out of the tunnel. These folks are fired up as their guys are ready to do battle between the Arizona Cardinals and the Indianapolis Colts. Lurching closer toward the midway point of this NFL season, and we're underway on EA Sports. On the return, it's McKenzie. Oh, a nice spin. And he'll get it up past the 20 to the 22-yard line. And now here's a timeout defensively coming from the Cardinals. They'll have 2 remaining as we step aside here in this first quarter.
Detroit! 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 Detroit!
Throwing on first down, Murray. He's going to find his running back. It's complete. And they nearly get this all the way to midfield. Mark him down at the 49. A very solid gain of 27. So one play, and they're already just shy of midfield. They'll run it here. This is Marlon Mack. And he'll get it across midfield and down into Cardinal territory. It's a pickup of 4, and it'll bring up second down.
Well, I think that's what they're going to need to do here in the first half. You've got to take some pressure off of this young quarterback, and no better way to do it than to establish the running game early.
Looking to throw on second down. Murray eluding the pressure right. And he fires one that's intercepted. Picked off by Dayon Buchanan. And they have possession, and they have it at the 38-yard line. They were ball hawks last week. They had a trio of interceptions on defense. In the first drive, they pick up right where they left off.
They're creating quite a reputation for themselves, aren't they? And sometimes what happens is when they know that the defense can take the ball away, as they saw the previous week, now you try too hard to not let them take it away, and you force yourself into errors. They've intimidated them, in a sense, and gotten the ball from them.
There to stop him was Darius Leonard. Charles, they won last week despite him not running the ball well. They told us need to get him going. Runs like that help.
And they talked to us about leaning on him because, as you noted, last week they didn't have to. Still won the ball game. They leaned on other people to give them the yardage that they needed, but they really want him to be that guy, and that's what they're doing early in this game.
In the middle of the field, he's got Nelson. And he'll get it out a couple yards shy of midfield at the 48. That catch good for 5. It's third down. I think defensively you're okay with that. You're in the first quarter. He's going to get some catches, but they rallied to him quickly.
And that's what you count on, and I like what you just said. First quarter, can you do it all game long? They catch it, you tackle them, they go down on the spot. Because when you're able to do that and you don't give up big chunks of yardage after the catch, now you put the offense in a position where every series they have to work hard to pick up first downs, and you tend to stall them out when you do that.
Rosen will throw. Sideline throw, it's complete. And a nice job there of keeping the toes in bounds. A good pickup there. 8 yards on the first down completion. Facing a 2nd and 2 after that last catch, good for 8 yards. And they'll go on the ground. And forget about finding a lane. He barely had time to look up before he was planted in the backfield. It'll go as a loss of a yard, and it'll set up third down. And on third down, a nickel formation here defensively. From the gun, it's Rosen. Finding a safety valve here. That's complete. Call it a gain of 10, and they pick up the first.
I don't believe that this opening drive is surprising to either one of us after the time we spent with the coaching staff and players prior to the game. What about you?
Absolutely. Not only that, but that big article in the paper this morning about their philosophy on starting games like you're shot out of a cannon, and that's what they've done. Very methodical here on this first drive.
Yeah, so many teams talk about that fast start. We're actually seeing it happen right here in front of us.
But now the kicker. Can they cap it off by put? And he is into the end zone. Touchdown, Arizona. A great effort there. His third touchdown now on the year. And the Cardinals have taken the early lead. On is Mason Crosby for the point after. Extra point up and good by Crosby. And that makes the score 7-0. Crosby on now to kick it away. On the return, it's McKenzie. And he nearly broke that for more, but as it is, they'll start this drive at about the 37-yard line. Now the Colts offense gets ready to head back on the field. And there are parts of their last drive they'd like to emulate. And, of course, they'd like to forget the ending, the interception. But they did put together, Charles, a nice sustained drive to get him down the field.
Yeah, and unfortunately for them, the only thing that matters is part 2, right? Because once they threw the interception and finished off the drive, that does them no good to go back and say, well, you know, we had a good one going. Finish things off. That's the only way you can get it done.
Line of scrimmage, the 37 on 1st and 10. Trying to shake off the interception from the last drive. He'll look to throw. Steps away to his left. And he'll be out of bounds, but able to get it up past the 45. The drive starting with a first down, 11 yards on that pickup.
I think the last 2 plays really illustrate how difficult it is to game plan against this guy because you know he can throw the football, but how about his use of legs as well? What we call those broken plays, you can't account for them.
Yeah, those plays, those 2 that you just mentioned, a microcosm really of how he can hurt you. 8 yards on the pickup, and now they'll have some options on 2nd and short.
All right, now, lucky 56, lucky 56.
Play action. Murray. It's incomplete. Took a shot, couldn't connect.
Had an open man that time, but ended up putting a little too much heat on it, don't you think, partner?
Absolutely. Just needed a touch more air under it. Instead, he fired an absolute bullet. So 3rd and 2. This quite possibly 4-down territory, though, if they're stopped.
Detroit! Detroit!
Murray now. He'll buy some time right. And he can't hang on to it. Nearly picked. He's known for his hands defensively, but instead it just brings up 4th down. The offense staying out. They're going to go on 4th and 2.
Hey, got three. Three down. Jump. Hey, Mike 20, Mike. No. Check, Patriots.
Now Mack. And he will have a 1st down as they get him to the ground at the 37. They're able to keep the drive alive, 7 yards that time, and the decision to go for it proves to be a good one. The 4th down run successful. Now they look to pay it off on 1st down.
Gun!
On 1st down, Murray fighting, lost the football. But I believe the Colts were able to fall on this when they were, and so possession will remain with Indy.
On plays like this, when the ball comes free, it's often unusual for the team that lost it to get it back. Because this is the quarterback. The ball gets away from him. Everyone else is trying to execute what they're supposed to do on offense. They're usually looking in the other direction, downfield, or have moved away from him. In this case, though, a teammate is able to come up with the ball.
Seventh play of the drive upcoming here on 3rd and 6. From the gun, Murray. Throwing right, and that's complete. Touchdown, Indianapolis. Doris Felton, his 3rd touchdown now on the year. And the Colts are an extra point away from tying up this football game. Now the extra point try forthcoming. Point after, right down the middle. And we are tied at 7. So a tie ball game here as the kick's away. And this will not be returnable. It's out of the back of the end zone for a touchback. The Cardinal offense here ready to take over. And for them, a touchdown their last go-around. Obviously, they'll be hoping to do that again.
And when you start plotting for this drive, when you start thinking to yourself, okay, what are we going to do? You don't go away from what you did before because that worked. But you have to be prepared for wrinkles and counters because you know they'll make some adjustments.
Watch it now, Barney!
They'll run it now out of the gun. And he's able to plow forward up to about the 29, just shy of the 30. Yeah, give him 4 yards there. It'll be 2nd and 6.
They'd love to just strike back with a touchdown right here. And if it's a long play, so be it. But the main goal, get a couple of 1st downs. Run some plays, run some clock. Allow their defense to get a chance to catch their breath, settle down, and relax a little bit after they just gave up a score.
A very nice pickup of 33 yards.
Well, partner, I'm not sure how this drive's going to end, but how about the way they flip field position there? A nice attacking play. They picked up a heck of a chunk of yardage.
And they'll go with the ground attack here. Trying to turn the corner, but he's going to be stopped right near the line of scrimmage. No gain on the play there, 2nd down. He makes a wonderful play there off the corner, protecting his side of the field.
Oh, that reminds me of the great defenses of old, doesn't it? The Pittsburgh Steelers, steel curtain. They would not let you get on the field if you could only do one thing. You had to be a complete guy, and you had to be able to tackle.
Now, I know I've said this before, but you know I wasn't alive when the steel curtain was playing. I know them, but I just want to let you know I wasn't alive.
I'm going to keep peppering that in there, and one of these days you're going to think that you were.
On second down, here's Rosen. Throwing for his running back, and he's got him complete. So a nice job to break the one tackle, but not much daylight after that as he's brought down.
I think the best offenses love to get the ball to their running backs in open space because they have the ability to make people miss, and they also have the ability to run over people. And if you do that throughout the game, after a while, they might just run through some of those tackles and go a long way.
Well, we saw him shed a nice tackle on that play.
All right, now, lucky 56. Lucky 56.
They go play action. It's Rosen. He's going to launch this thing way downfield. And he is into the end zone. Touchdown, Arizona. As his guys are in for 6. And the Cardinals are in for 6. Now Crosby for the point after. Crosby with the extra point, and that makes the score 14-7. Crosby on now to kick it away. And that'll carry over the back line of the end zone for a touchback. The Colts now, their offense works their way back onto the field. And they're hoping to redo their efforts in the last drive when they got into the end zone.
And just think of what it's like now on the sideline, because when you score a touchdown, you have to go over and look at the tablet and see what you did on the last drive. When you scored points, it's a whole lot better view than when you're trying to figure out how to fix things there.
Detroit! Detroit! Over!
On 1st and 10, Murray. He couldn't quite hold it. Got hit. Ball pops out. Incomplete.
Even without a ton of pressure in his face, it just shows how difficult it is to pick apart his own defense. Those guys are sitting back, and they're not playing receivers as much as they're playing the eyes of the quarterback and when he delivers the ball.
Line of scrimmage, again the 25, 2nd and 10. Throwing again on 2nd and 10. Murray, and that one got tipped, kind of threw everything off. It brings up 3rd.
Well, that wasn't a completion, but it wasn't a sack either. So the good takeaway, able to extend the life of the play. Normally you would think he'd just take off and run downfield, but he was trying to find an open receiver, unable to do so.
So back-to-back incompletions, and that has him staring at a 3rd and 10. Now hold everything here. We're going to get a timeout by the offense. They'll have 2 remaining as we step aside here in this second quarter. They come up to the line now facing a 3rd and 10 after the incompletion.
All right, now, lucky 56. Lucky 56. Gun!
Operating from the gun. Murray. Oh, he's got a man wide open, complete. And they work this well upfield across the 45. And a nice gain of 21 yards.
Gun!
Throwing on 1st down. Murray fighting, lost the football. And this is recovered by the Cardinals.
Well, partner, they went empty set there. No backs in the backfield. All receivers out in the pattern. And in this situation, you know what the quarterback has to do? Act as his own blitz control.
Yeah, he's got nobody else there to protect.
No one else there to protect, which means he's got to get rid of the football and absorb the hit, but not go down and fumble the ball.
Detroit!
Now they'll run it on the toss. And he'll fall forward to the 29-yard line. Just a yard on the pickup there, and it'll bring up a 2nd and 9.
One thing to keep in mind, partner, especially in the second half, when you've got a running back of this size, of these dimensions, I can just tell you, attrition does set in for a defense because you're excited about hitting him in the first half. Maybe not so much in the second half, and some of these shorter gains turn into bigger runs later.
Detroit!
On 2nd down, Rosen. His throw caught right around the 6. And he'll take this one in for the Arizona touchdown. In for the score. And the Cardinals now adding on to their lead. Crosby connects on the extra point, and it's now 21-7. Crosby on now to kick it away. And they will not get a chance to return this one as it's through the end zone for a touchback. Here comes the Indianapolis offense now as they get set to take over. And last time, not only the turnover, but that turned into 6 points. They got to make up for that here.
We always hear about empty possessions, but some are worse than others. You can have an empty possession, punt the ball away, get yourself set to play defense, but when you turn it over, it changes momentum, and when they take it downfield and punch it in on you, that's a bad possession all the way around.
Yeah, but you're hungry to get back out there, aren't you?
You better be, because otherwise, it's going to be a long day for you.
Line of scrimmage, again the 25, 2nd and 10.
All right, here we go. 3-19.
To throw again. Murray. And he'll be hit as he releases it, and that'll fall incomplete. Some of the fans here don't seem too happy about what we've seen in this first half.
No, not at all, and I understand why. They've looked lethargic, out of sync, and it shows on the scoreboard.
Lucky 56. Lucky 56.
On 3rd down, Murray. Flushed it, and he can't find anywhere to go with it, and he goes down.
He's NFL sack leader coming into the game, and now that's 2 more that he's added to his total.
He wants some separation from spot 1 and 2 in that sack category. On 4th down, here's Brett Kern to punt the football away. They only punted twice in the win last week as he gets this one away. Taking it about the 36. 12 yards on the return that time. And the Cards will take over 1st and 10. The Cardinal offense now making their way back out onto the field. And the ledger for them so far looks pretty good, doesn't it?
It certainly does. Touchdown, touchdown, touchdown. Not sure it can be much better than that. They've got to feel very good about the groove that they're in at this stage of the game.
Room to run inside the 40. And all the way down to the 33-yard line. The drive starting play, a good one. Give him 19.
Boy, he does it at a high level, doesn't he? Because when I watch him, I think of his vision. Straight ahead, peripheral. Also has that sense of where holes are going to be before they actually open. I think that helps set him apart from many of the other backs in the league.
Running game working. They'll stick with it on 1st down. So he got free of 1 tackle but couldn't do a whole lot else. Just a yard on the 1st down carry, so it's 2nd and 9.
Well, we saw him there trying to get it to the outside, trying to get to the perimeter, but not a whole lot of room there. But there's got to be one positive to that. If you keep moving laterally, creases tend to develop as the game moves on, and they can run it back inside later.
Now Rosen to throw on 2nd down. He's going to float this over. And that is caught. Touchdown, Cardinals. A great play there with his 2nd touchdown of the game, 4th of the year. And the Cardinals will extend their lead. Crosby on now to kick it away. And this will be a touchback as that sails over the end line. And the Colts coming out now. And on the last go-around, they really couldn't get anything going.
They had to punt from deep inside their own territory, which means you're going to lose the field position battle as a general rule. What they're looking for now is a little more consistency,
now,
move the ball at least a few times on offense, get a couple of first downs, and hopefully flip the field.
Yeah, just something to build off of. That's what they're looking for here.
Green 39! Green 39!
They go play action here on first down. Pressure comes, and the Cardinals bring him down. Charles, not to point fingers, but how much of this goes on the shoulders of the offensive line? I mean, look at the 6 sacks last week. That's the 4th in this game.
Definitely the bulk of it does go on the offensive line. That's what they're tasked with doing, keeping their quarterback upright and clean in the pocket. But I think they have to look at, okay, are we bringing in extra people? Is the ball out of the quarterback's hands quick enough? There are a few other factors that they have to look at to try and help out. But you're exactly right. It starts with the O-line.
A big play there on the catch and run. So the yellow flag came out, and that leads to a new set of downs for this offense. 1st and 10. Here's Murray. Dancing to his left. Incomplete, but a penalty flag is down in the backfield. Let's get the call. So they say no to the penalty. The incompletion stands. It'll be 2nd and 10.
And what they want to do is go ahead and take those downs away from them. You never want to give extra snaps to any offense. That's how you get hurt.
Throwing again. Murray. He's going to loft one. Deep left side. Trying to get it to Robinson, and it's intercepted. Picked off at the 15. And now he spins free. Oh, now he bowls him over.
When a team's turned it over 3 times in the first half, we just look at the offense and say, guys, what are you doing? But instead, we really should be looking at the defense. They've created the takeaways. 2 interceptions, 1 caused fumble.